Yes. Woo! Domingo.
Are you ready?
Bienvenidos.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dude is so bad, I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war, maybe with a Mexican.
Let's go! Way pop!
I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing, man.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
Tuning into our daily, weekly recap podcast. As always, Long League Boxing EnVivo with Manny Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be. So if you grab your cup of coffee, grab a beer if you want. Anything, this show is going to be on fire today, ladies and gentlemen. We continue to enjoy ourselves with a fantastic weekend when it comes to boxing. Lots of stuff going on, not only here, but also around the world. We'll be discussing today. We appreciate you guys tuning in today, this morning, and also keeping that chat interactive. We'll be more than willing to see what you got going on for us, and we'll debate it as well. Remember, we are EnVivo, como siempre.
Hey, man, what a start to the show, and let's get it going. Hot diggity damn. Shout out to JC, already in the house, man. Much love, much respect. Punch Mullet, we see you in there. Oh, Smullet, my bad. I cannot. Shout out to my dyslexia again. And as we begin to have a good one, and man, that was embarrassing. Well, I mean, I didn't mean to mispronounce your name, but I think you may be talking about a fight we're about to get into, and maybe you were going for a fighter that didn't have the performance we were expecting, but sometimes expectations can lead to a better experience or a disappointing experience. And let's get right to it. We're going to go ahead and start things off, and we're going to get into Chocolatito and his masterclass performance versus El Rey Martinez. Wow. What
ass whooping.
Okay, ass whooping, right? I mean, everybody understands that. So, Hopper, since you jumped in there, what's your thoughts? And why do you say ass whooping?
We call it like it is, bro. I mean, my boy, El Rey, he took a major L. I think I gave him half the first round, and then that was it. Chocolatito took over for the rest of the fight. Max DeLuca, as you mentioned earlier, Gringo, we were talking, he scored a 116, 112. I have no idea how he gave 4 rounds.
I don't either.
To El Rey. And El Rey's my boy. I love that guy. Es mexicano, el cabrón, a huevo le voy a dar. Pero you got to call it like it is. He got his ass whooped. I mean, he couldn't do nothing. And he came in overweight. He had no answers for Chocolatito. Like, it took Chocolatito half a round to figure him out. And afterwards, it was over. And for all the bravado that El Rey showed, in his chest and everything, telling him to come on, I go, bro, you got to
bring it.
And
he would bring it.
Back that up a little bit with, with some head movement, with some punches, do something. Roman Gonzalez, Chocolatito, dominated this fight. I mean, what a performance by the legend. And which leads me, I was thinking, I was watching this fight. Is that how wide the gap is between the 4 kings of this era, who I call the 4 kings, with Chocolatito, El Gallo, Cuadras, and Soronsevai? Is the gap that wide? I guess we'll find out if the professor and Estrella, if that fight gets made, we'll see how Joshua Franco stacks up. But man, the gap between Chocolatito and El Rey was just massive. It was kind of embarrassing to be with have Canelo there and to get worked like that. It's supposed to rile you up, man. And yeah, hey, Mexico took a huge L in that fight. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Wow, man. I love the raw passion, and you are not holding anything back. So no excuses for my man Hopper, man. My brother is bringing it. Yeah, he got whooped. But Manny, what's your thoughts on it? I know going into the fight, and we have our own chat for those that know, and a lot of times we vent about boxing and just in general. And I have a theory that our brother Manny is feeling pretty good, but you never know. Not hear from the man himself. What's your thoughts, brother?
No, I'm feeling fantastic, and I tell you what. Listen, these are some of the young, talented Mexican fighters. They're great. They're great. They're champions, and to come out there and first of all, being part of a card that it was going to bring a lot of action when it comes to Gallo Estrada and Chocolatito, and then getting a replacement. And we did talk about this. Get a replacement in the caliber of El Rey Martinez. It's a must-watch fight. And the young talented kid, Hopper mentioned he came overweight. I just don't think he can stand in that weight class no longer. I think that's first of all one factor in there. Second,
he moved up, Manny. He moved up to this weight division.
Yeah, so but that's what I'm saying. He still didn't make the weight.
Still didn't make the weight.
What are you going to do? Are you going to go back down and defend your belt, or are you going to come up and you still can't make the weight? So I really don't know what happened in that transition. I hope that he didn't overlook the fact that Chocolatito still got some stuff, a lot of juice in the tank, and like you said, it didn't take him a while. A veteran inside the ring to figure out the youngster. And, it was funny because I know he wanted to show that Mexican braveness, like bring it. I'm taking some of your punches, but here you go again. Another 4 or 5, punch combination. He's like, where are they coming from? It's like, okay, I got you now. Let me throw a couple of combinations myself. And there he goes in the body. He was like, he could, completely discombobulated. He didn't know where the punches were coming from, and then he made a mistake to really, get into the ropes, and he got the best of him. So I don't know, man. I love it. I really wanted to see Estrada. I think a couple of months ago, we were talking about that Chocolatito no longer has it. He needs to retire. Yes. I know that he's been, the boogeyman out there is
not our best moment.
That's the guy that I'm sure. It will bring the attention of a lot of fans to kind of see a third fight. Does Sarangsa has the number of Chocolatito? Maybe so, but I think we need to really see that a Gallo Estrada fight. And he was extremely prepared for him. This would have been a fantastic fight to be able to see. But man, what a display by Chocolatito! And those of you who were rooting for Chocolatito and still still got that passion for the kid, humble. This guy has a lot, and I can't wait to see what's next for him. But other than that, like you said, man, it was a display, a masterpiece of the experience, and not only that, the endurance and training that he still got in no matter what age he's at right now.
Yeah, definitely. And Grigo, real quick, make no mistake about it, Manny. It was calculated. They came in overweight on purpose. He didn't try. It was a calculated risk. Come on, man. We know what he was trying to. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to gain an unfair advantage towards the legend, and it still didn't work. Still didn't
work. At 34 years old, and Chocolatito just dismantled completely. And I'm not saying he took away every opportunity for Martinez in the future. But in this particular location, man, there's nothing else you need to look at. I guess you go back down where you came from, or you either stay away from Chocolatito. See what happens with some of the rest of the, some of the guys out here. Just keep in mind, Jesse Rodriguez, he's the WBC champion, and then everything else is just consolidated by Gallo Estrada. So this is a very nice division at the super flyweight, and I'm just excited, man, that I can still see Chocolatito giving us a lot of action. But and I posted this yesterday, he's still giving us fight of the year caliber fights, and I love that.
No, absolutely, man. Totally agree. Great comments from you guys. Brother No Paul in the house, man. Shout out to HCP. Ray is saying he was out of shape, eating too much tamales 5 weeks ago. Fat little strategy. Well, if that was a strategy, that's my strategy too. But it's got
Gringo strategy,
and it got him nowhere as well too. So, maybe I should be a coach. Shout out to Chico Prophet in the house out Chile. Salute to the
Chile. Amigo.
Man, much respect.
EnVivo.
What up? What up, HCP? El Capitan in the house, man. Much respect. And man, Cano Loco Sports.
Cano.
Yeah, El Cano Loco.
All right, Chocolatito got that legacy. So speaking of that, and appreciate those comments and you guys tuning in and those listening in on the audio podcast version. What I'll say, and I like the comment my brother Hopper said, there is a gap to me. Now, I know, in a big shot to Bam, and that what made his performance so amazing. A lot of people took that and saw maybe that was a blueprint because there's because Carlos Cuadras fell short to Bam, but Bam's obviously a special talent. It is not the same thing. And I feel like there is a gap. Now, I do have Carlos Cuadras in that fourth king.
The fourth.
Yeah, the fourth king.
Fourth king.
Right. So you have Chocolatito to me, El Gallo Estrada, 1A, 1B, very close. Then you have the Rat King for obvious reasons. So one of the strongest guys at that weight class. Still putting in, major work. I don't think, and that's not trying to get off topic, but I think that, when you look at those guys, there is a gap to me. I think that they're in a level still, and that's why they're still so relevant and so dominant because
cream of the crop in that division.
Yeah, you have.
So where do you put Joshua Franco in there? Is he
still
separated?
Well, not. I mean, he's up there. I would no, not close because Gringo, what you're talking about is reflected in the ring rankings. Like the ring has El Gallo Estrada number one, the champion. Then their number one contender is Sarung Savai. And then the second ranked one is Chocolatito. And I mean, that's exactly what you're talking about. And it's reflected in the ring rankings as well. Ansaja's fourth, Ioka third, and then Joshua Franco, they have fifth. So they think very highly of Joshua Franco. And we'll find out, hopefully, that fight with El Gallo Estrada gets made. Bam Rodriguez is sixth. So, no, definitely a lot of talent there in that division.
No, definitely, man. And that's the thing. I think there's a lot of things to be still handled at 115. So I know it was kind of mentioned in, obviously when it was mentioned at the post fight, Sergio Mora kind of dismissed it like, no, not Bam Rodriguez has to be a big fight. They seem to be kind of pushing Chocolatito out of 115 and saying, what about 118? Have him against Nonito, which would be a legendary fight, and then an unbelievable world event, have him fight against the Monster. What's your thoughts on that? Is that just his own posturing, or is there any, fire to that smoke?
Sign me up, bro. Sign me up. Chocolatito against the Monster. What's the Monster with? Top rank, right? Yep. They can get a deal done. And I think Nonito Donaires with Richard Schaefer's Pro Bellum promotions now, right? So they can get a deal done as well. See, that's the good thing about it. Neither of them is with the PBC because that for any PBC fight, the zone's not going to happen.
Damn.
Chocolatito against the Monster, bro.
Well, you're gonna have to go through several, major fights before you get up there, and I think you do have to settle Estrada. After you settle with Estrada, which we all believe that it was a very close fight, and some of us had Chocolatito winning, and then,
I did.
But you have to settle things like that. That's a brutal fight, and he just came from a pretty. I mean, still Rey gave him some hits here there, but he's still taking some punches, and that's his style. Now, after Estrada. Is that possibility you're talking about? Because he probably won't move up and immediately challenge one of them.
No, he said it himself. I think Chocolatito mentioned that he's interested in moving up to go to capture a fifth title.
Yeah,
he said he was interested in doing that.
But is it beneficial to Chocolatito right now? I mean, he's not. He's up in age 34.
Why not? I mean, he's pretty much
immediately to take one of these guys.
But why not? Why not take a shot at it and go up with another
boom against the Monster immediately?
Why not? He's not gonna. I mean, he's too older. He's not gonna take a few fill out fights right now.
Maybe Casimiro, maybe starting there and then moving up, getting a belt, and then testing the waters up there. That's what I'm talking about. Just testing the waters.
It makes sense for a younger guy, maybe.
Yeah, but
for a younger guy,
I get it. He deserves the right to say moving up as like this whole super champion crap, and immediately I get it. But my concern is the fact that. Man, I mean, these are brutal fights for him, and I want to see Chocolatito continue to fight, but at one point is like, when is it enough? I mean, I would love to hear Chocolatito, his ambitions and what he wants to do up next, which in fact makes sense. It continue to build in the legacy and build into his Hall of Famer resume, which is no fact that he's going to be there, and he's the excitement of the flyweights, bantamweights in this lower division. He will be. And I think it's a major fight that could happen. But my concern is man, Monster's no joke, and he's
for sure,
he's
Manny.
young. It's just
for sure, Manny. And I think my thing is that how we talk about the four kings with Cuadras and so on and so forth. I think we've already seen those. We've already seen those episodes. I think for Chocolatito, do something out of the ordinary. Go up another division, capture 5 titles, bro. You go from
that's
already
huge.
legendary.
No, I love it. I mean,
much
sign me
higher-
up. I love it. I
Yeah.
love to see it.
No,
I'm
I
just
mean,
always every time I see Chocolatito,
And then him and
this is
Nonito,
amazing.
they're gentlemen. They're gonna be respectful as they can. There's gonna be no trash talk. It's just gonna be
No,
two men
Nonito
going
one
in
would be
there.
nice. Nonito
Yeah,
man
that'd
would
be
be
great.
nice. I
Respectful
like
guy. I
that
think
better
Nonito-
first before getting
so-
the monster.
No, I see where you're coming from, Manny, because you kind of have those protective goggles. Like you don't want him to get to run.
You don't want to get hurt.
Man,
I
the
don't want
monster's
him
the
to-
monster, bro. I'm sorry.
Right, so yeah, the monster. So you're like maybe take another fight to kind of see and get your footing.
Where he's
But
at.
he's Chocolatito, man. He's about to be
Chocolatito, bro.
35. It's go time, So whatever fight he gets, it's got to be a big fight. So from that standpoint of Sergio Mora and what our brother Hopper is saying, whatever fight, it needs to be a big fight. So Estrada, and then
he has to wait for Estrada and Franco because that whole mess. They still haven't even decided agreed to fight or anything. And
and
he's ordered to fight him. So he's gonna wait around. Like, nah, bro, just go ahead and move up, fight. Make it happen. Save boxing for
be awesome. And it's gonna happen though. We're gonna get it, and there's gonna be the zone, and it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, they could work out a deal. Bob Arum, Uncle Bob, they've worked out deals before.
Well, I mean, it's easy for him. I don't have to do anything. They just promoted it. The networks will do it for me.
All right,
the old Bob style.
Well, one thing I just want to say real quick in regards to Chocolatito, and again, amazing performance. I didn't get a chance to say before, but it got even more brought to the forefront. His ability to go for, and he threw over 1,000 punches, man. I can't even stress that enough. His ability, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, and I'm sure it's probably an overstatement, and shout me out or shout me down in the chat. His ability to go from offense to defense, he's the best.
Amazing.
The best. From offense to defense and slipping punches, and his going from combinations is probably the best that I've ever seen. Definitely at that weight class, to the lower weight class, it's like unmatched. And
Gallo's good at that too.
Well, that's why they're
such a perfect match.
You know what I like about that too, Sean? And I think it's important what you're talking about is he likes to take risk. And he likes to just stay there and see. Let me see what you got, and I'll try to defend it. If I don't, counter punching. I mean, he takes those risks.
You know what Chocolatito said? Because I'm gonna go ahead and call him. I'm gonna take Manny Pacquiao's name away from him. Chocolatito's the Mexicutioner. I think he's fought like 22 Mexicans and beat them all except for one, Gallo. And then they asked him, what is it about you fighting Mexicans? He goes, well, they just stand in front of me, so they make it easier for me. I was like, no, hombre.
That's the style. When Raymond started doing that, I'm like, man, this is not going to go well for Ray.
So we took a L.
Before we switch off of these, it's 115 and Chocolatito and his amazing masterclass. Just want to have you say the last word in regards to this. Hopper, what fight do you want next for Chocolatito? And then Manny,
Monster or Donell, the Monster or
so you do want 118?
Yeah, I mean, because I don't want him waiting around for Estrada and Franco. I mean, unless they get that shit done soon, and gives us a better timeline of Chocolatito and Gallo 3. If he's gonna be waiting around on the shelf for that, then just go ahead and move up, cement your legacy, Nonito or the Monster, make it happen, man.
All right, and Manny, what's your thoughts? Well, who do you want?
I mean, definitely, I'd like to see him settle with Gallo Estrada, and I'm hoping that happens next. That way he can move up and see what's up. But if that doesn't happen, definitely we're gonna see him at the highest level at major fights. It's what I'm trying to say, and that definitely I would love it to start with Nonito Donaire. These are two veteran guys. Nonito Donaire comes from a back-to-back 4th round knockouts. Impressive. We've all thought that Donaire was gone. I was the first one, I admitted. I thought he was gone. He's not. So the people thought about Chocolatito a couple of fights ago when he fought over here in Texas. He fought what was it, Brian Gonzalez, or previously that. People thought that he was gone, and then he gets a chance with Francisco Estrada. We all know what happened there, and now he fights very tough, young, talented Julio Cesar Martinez, and look what he did. The kind of performance he put last night, it just continued to prove that Chocolatito's still at the highest level when it comes to his skills, style, and he's not afraid of anything. So, non-air, and then move up to that monster big deal fight. That will be fantastic for the kid in Nicaragua.
Well said. So before we get to these comments, I'm going to go ahead and say and stick to it because the gringo likes to be consistent, not only with my order, my food, but when I make my boxing predictions. I don't know who I want him to fight. I just know I want him to fight, but I know who I don't want him to fight. I still want no part of the Rat King. I'm still going to say that. Nope. I mean, I know that that's kind
you think the Rat King retires him
easily. I think there's no change in that. I think he's just too strong, and I think
like just has your number, right?
Just has his number. It's just one of those.
The number is only Chocolatito, no one else.
That's a great number.
That's crazy though. That's the matchup, bro. That's just the
what I'm
matchup.
saying.
That's his kryptonite.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's just too strong. He's too big. Because the thing about it is Chocolatito with his defense, and he's out, to cover up, and he's able to slip, and he's able to have that high guard and fight through that and fight under with those combinations. The Rat King is so strong, he just punches through that shit. So it doesn't matter.
What I like to see? I like to see that Rat King going out at Ribam Rodriguez. Let's see, because he couldn't do it with Cuadras, right? And he couldn't do it with El Gallo. All right, who's the next one? I like to see about if he's able to be Bam, man. And I'm sure Chocolatito in the back of the mind, and I would be the same way, as competitive as I am, and I'm sure Chocolatito is. I'll be like, I want to avenge those defeats. How can I really get back into that? And he has an opportunity. He can just call it and say, I want this. Is it the right thing for him? But man, I'd love to see someone else settle in this and see if the Rat King has what it takes to beat all these top guys, not Chocolatito, the rest of the pack.
I don't even like talking about the Rat King. I mean, he makes me nervous. I mean,
I don't want to see a picture of him.
Yeah, he's Runkify is no joke. But also no joke at ACP El Capitan. I think Inoue beats Chocolatito. He's got the kryptonite power. Inoue hits harder than Sarungsify. He does.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, he does. I mean, I'm not.
If Chocolatito has the ability to move more and take less punches, like
Donair's with Probellum, Richard Schaefer's company, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they can still make that deal.
No, Richard Schaefer will make that fight. Yeah, he's not network strapped like the PBC.
All right, so another comment from HCP El Capitan. That's the thing.
You'll take all of them.
I think that the transition in all encompasses together like a machine, slip, parry, block, while going back. I mean,
that guy's the man right there.
It's the thing of beauty, man, for real. A thing of beauty, for real. No Paul. Chocolatito exhibits perfect Mexican style.
Mm-hmm.
All right, off the ropes.
Defense, though.
Managua, Nicaragua.
And MMA, plenty of names out there. Chocolatito just showed he didn't go after some light. He went after Martinez, a naturally bigger guy. Martinez looked huge. Martinez did look really big out there.
Yeah, right? And that's why we gotta respect that. The fact that you getting a replacement and you're getting this caliber replacement. You have to respect that. So
El Gallo will beat him in third fight.
Who?
Mexicanos al grito de guerra.
I want to see that so bad. I want to see that settle so bad. Because Hopper, he lost. You know it.
Whoa, tell me what I know, Manny.
Come on, bro. You know he lost that.
That's kind of funny. Like, I guess we'll continue talking about Chocolatito. Like, to me, when they mentioned it, because Chocolatito is like the humblest, confident guy ever. Like when he was talking about, I won that fight.
Everything God first.
Yeah, but God knows I won that fight. Like he's confident. So it's kind of almost like I don't think he wants that. I don't say he doesn't want that fight, but he feels he already won. You know what I mean?
If he's talking about moving up to capturing that fifth belt, if you're thinking about it, talking about it, what did Bill Parcells used to always say? You're already fixing to do it or something.
That's true.
So he's already talking about moving on up. Yeah. That's probably what he's thinking about, going up already a division. I'm sure he's tired of the same old episodes. He's fought the four kings. So
yeah. I mean, you're right. It's a matter of what I want now.
Keeping him motivated at this point in his career. He's got to find the challenges and stuff.
Money is not.
It's more for legacy. Like look at what Canelo's doing, moving up another division. Some of these
cherry
greats.
Picking. I mean, fighting.
Wow.
Cherry
picking champions.
Okay, so Nopal, he says if Gallo can get his flow going, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, man. Those guys are phenomenal and another level. Got another comment here. Nonito, too big for Chocolatito.
He's in height, but in terms of like body frame, I don't think Nonito Donaire feels out as well as Chocolatito. I think maybe he's just taller than him. Or what do you think? I think Nonito Donaire has that slender, skinny frame.
Yeah, he's got a skinny, like he's like 5. I mean, he's tall for the division for sure. But that's the thing, man. It'd be two legends, man. I mean, I would.
Would you count him out though? Would you count Chocolatito out in either of those fights?
No.
I think at this point, the way we've done Chocolatito and counted him out, retired him pretty almost in his past
every fight.
I ain't picking against him, man. I'm gonna just call it a 50-50 fight.
You know how many times I heard this week that Martinez was gonna destroy him, You know, and the Chocolatito got nothing left.
We
you know,
said,
I heard
we said that when he fought Gallo. We're like, oh, we think Gallo's gonna beat him up. You know, pretty been. Boy,
that's another thing that I want to go ahead and say, because I don't want to just piss all over the parade of El Rey Martinez. I mean, I really did.
Hater.
I was concerned. No, I'll be honest.
You
like,
were concerned.
And then, you know, another thing too. I'm with my brother Hopper, man. The whole, and I know about weight because I've got plenty of it. So the fact he came in heavier, like he's going in there trying to
design.
That's no accident.
By design.
He was going in there.
How would you do that? I mean, what the fuck you do?
No, they do it. I mean, they come.
I don't understand. Is that
it's not the first and it won't be the last?
Are you not taking advantage of the opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, guys like this do it all the time. Like when not either that or they won't respect the rehydration clause or so on and so forth. Like remember when Jacobs fought Triple G and then the IBF had that silly rule where you can't weigh 10 pounds over. Jacobs just said, "Screw that belt. We ain't fighting for the belt," and he came in huge.
Man,
I mean, they do it all the time. The boxers do it all the time.
This is just not.
No, man. But again, it's an exciting time. And I love the fact because 115, and that's what made it so great. You have, you know, young fighters. You have the legends guys still holding on. You have, you know, good fights, exciting fights. 115. So when people say, you know, as far as, you know, following boxing and what's still, you know, relevant or not, man, don't worry about what's not happening in other divisions. 115 and these low divisions, these guys, they want the smoke, and it's happening. So it's great. I know
the good thing is that in the next floor, there's also a lot of challenges and a lot of money to be made. So those two divisions are going, you know, hand to hand. So that's really good.
There you go, in your face, Manny. Read that other one. No, don't skip it through, Gringo. Go back to
that's where I was. Where was that?
Go back to the other one. LOL, Manny. Yeah, Estrada did lose that one.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. You agree with me.
Yeah.
Hopper doesn't still think about that, but hey.
I mean, I've kind of moved on. You know, it's in the past.
I got you.
We're talking about what happened.
I understand.
So talking about things that are in the past.
It is.
We could do a preview show.
Go back. Gallo will make tacos out of chocolate. Go back one more.
Oh man.
Mole style, they fight again. Ooh,
I can't wait.
Mole de chocolate, extra chocolate. You know how
that's what I'm saying. I need to see that settle. Although, you know, if he doesn't, Chocolatito decides to move on, that'd be fantastic. But you just want to settle things. The only thing, and also the positive, even if he loses to Gallo Estrella, Chocolatito still has a lot to give up in the, you know, up in the 118. So
yeah, but he's not.
Whatever he does, we're gonna be watching.
Yeah, and we're not going to doubt him again. That's for sure. So,
not at all. Yeah, and you know who else we'll be watching too, Gringo? Before we move on, the co-main event, Mauricio Lara.
Wow,
bro. Okay. Man, watch this. This dude's must watch, must see fight. Whenever he moves forward, the thing about him is that we were talking about this, you know, in the group message when he was fighting. He leaves himself open. He leaves himself vulnerable for opportunities for the other guy to capitalize on. And like in that third round, when he did that sneaky, I'm gonna hold you and then tackle you. He was hurt. He was hurt off that body shot. So that's exciting. Mauricio Lara is an exciting Mexican fighter. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do next. And Josh Warrington. I hope you were watching.
Yeah, that's my prediction, guys, for not just this show but for life. Josh Warrington will never ever take that. Never. El Bronco will never see Josh Warrington. Maybe passing through a hall. Maybe the same car.
Not even then. He'll avoid it. He'll see him coming and turn around. Whoop! Gotta go the other way.
Right.
He'll avoid the whole card. But seriously, the level I've never seen. Well, I mean, I have, but consistently, he has so much bad intentions on every punch. He's got this weird stance and everything. He's this bad intentions.
Even lunges a little bit too.
Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of like the Navarrete thing. Like you see the awkwardness and you see the fact that the vulnerability. He can hit his body. He can be vulnerable because of the shots he can take too.
But you still gotta fight.
Yeah, by lunging in. But his power just breaks through your guard. It breaks your will, and he has a way of. I don't know what it is. Maybe the machismo of drawing people into wars that they can't win. So I love it.
That's a good point right there because Manny Robles, Emilio Sanchez trainer, kept telling him, box on the outside, box on the outside. The bell would ring. There goes Emilio brawling, going straight for a lot of like, bro, that's the wrong strategy.
No, it's
definitely going to be exciting to keep talking about. Mauricio Lara, especially.
Mauricio Lara, man.
Now he's moving up.
Ranked kind of high for Vaquero's belt.
Well, he's got that, and also he's got Kiko Martinez too as well, because he moved up into the IBF as well. So
and then here's another thing. How stupid is that? Like the two lists, WBC and the IBF, they have them fourth and third, and then in the WBC and WBA, they don't even have them ranked in the top 15. They don't have Mauricio Lara ranked in the top 15
because they don't want the smoke either, brother. I mean,
they don't want that guy anywhere near those dudes, man.
Yeah. No, so and go. Shout out to Sanchez was his opponent, right? Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Emilio Sanchez. Yeah,
Emilio Sanchez.
I felt bad for him because you could tell like he had success going to the body. I mean, he was winning that round. The round he got knocked out.
Lara was hurt. That body shot hurt Lara.
Too many hits. Yeah.
He grabbed him and then he tackled him. Then he dropped him. Let's go. He was hurt.
That was the craziest round.
Then he goes and knocks him out. And then, when you fall back and your knees just collapse that's dangerous. That's scary.
It is.
It was. No, I agree with my brother.
Dímelo, saludo, Kemuel. Un abrazo, mi hermano.
Yeah, it was definitely a fantastic fight for sure. But man, we got to get to this. Man, there was another fight. Friday. Let's go ahead and get to it, man, because we did a whole show on it. So
who fought Friday?
Somebody fought Friday, I think.
Manny, we're gonna go ahead and let you take the lead on it because
go ahead. I'll shut up. I'm gonna put myself on mute. I ain't gonna say nothing.
No rude comments. You have the floor, brother, because I know going into it, and then I gotta be honest, I've kind of went through some things as far as coming out of the fight, as far as I'm not sure how I feel about either fighter, to be honest. I want to say it was a disappointing performance. It was just a different performance. But Manny, what's your thoughts?
Well, for me, if I was behind, Ramirez and rooting for Ramirez, I'd be very disappointed. Still happy for him. We just didn't see the Ramirez that we're accustomed to do. Is a couple things. Could it be the fact that he can't no longer make the weight? One, or is it showing signs already of, I don't want to say aging because he's still young, but I'm tending to see already in the past few fights Ramirez backing up. Maybe it could be a strategy where I know I'm leading. Let me just take a step back. And technically it's happening between the 7th, 8th, and 9th round. And this is where Pedraza, took advantage and start timing him and leading him with a jab. For Sniper, he had a pretty nice game plan. It just didn't really stuck to it. I wanted to see him double jab more. Keep in mind that anytime that, of course, he was southpaw, anytime he used that left uppercut, it was damaging. It was making some damage. My only thing is the rest of the punches that Pedraza was landing, they were like very short and they had no purpose at all. And you can't really stop someone just by marking him up. I mean, you got to follow up with those punches. Is it age also that is actually holding him back? That could be a possibility, but I think the experience inside the ring allowed Sniper Pedraza to accumulate some of the punches and possibly win some of these rounds. And it's not a concern or problem, because maybe I could have sounded a little bit upset because I watched it. The first time was 6-6. I rewatched it again and I give it a 7-5 to Ramirez. But here's the deal. Second round, that's a round that could have been the gun to anyone. All right. They gave it actually to the Pedraza, most of the judges. The third round, that was a round that for me in my eyes, I watched it again, and that was Pedraza. They gave it to. There were so many close fights that what do you think it's going to happen? The local guy, it's going to get the advantage of that, and that's just how it is. There wasn't anything that he was more active. Some stuff memorable at the end of the round that the judges are going to mark it up. I remember he was more active though, because both of them were there. And the positive thing is that he didn't say, like Hopper said, he didn't run a marathon. Yeah, he kind of started taking control a little bit. He was moving around perfect, which is the strategy he needed to do, right? And by the way, shout out, happy birthday, Steven Ruiz. Owe you 2 of them now. Owe you a beer and a shot for your birthday. Appreciate you always support, buddy. But honestly, what I really wanted to bring out here is I was very disappointed for those of you fans who actually disrespected Pedraza and thought that Ramirez was going to knock him out. Come on, guys. No knockout. It wasn't a knockout. It was a very close fight. Yes. Did we see Ramirez win? I think so when I watched it again. But at the same time, it is kind of frustrating for those who come to me and say, Manny, I really don't understand a lot of nuances of what happens behind the scenes in boxing, who gets the decision. But the reality is the local fighter, the house fighter, he's always going to get the slight advantage. It happens to everyone. So with that, I'm just going to leave it like that. But boy, what a display of, a veteran guy just trying to revive his career, trying to capture a world title for the third time. And is he going to become a gatekeeper now, Pedraza? I don't know. Possibly, maybe so. We know for a fact that the stronger guy that night won, and the guy that has the more possibilities to bring excitement and bigger fights, that is definitely Ramirez. And of course, that also takes a slight advantage into some of these closer rounds because you can build bigger, mega fights with Ramirez rather than doing it with Pedraza. Other than that, man, I enjoyed it. It was a great display. I wanted a little bit more because we talked about that had a potential to be the fighter of the year, but a candidate. But when we moved on into Chocolatito, that is candidate fighter of the year guy. You know what I'm saying? So good display, Hopper. All yours.
Well, all right. Now I know what you're saying about the hometown thing, and I know a lot of cases in boxing that's the case. But I don't think this one was the case of, they're giving it to the hometown guy. I thought the fight was competitive, a lot more competitive than I kind of gave Pedraza credit for. I thought Pedraza put in work in those middle rounds. But then Ramirez came back and made the adjustments on the championship rounds. And something about Ramirez, I don't know if you guys noticed in the third round, he was already huffing and puffing. I mean, He looked gassed.
Yep.
And I brought it up in our group message. I go, damn, that dude's already exhausted, mouth bleeding. That's barely the third round. So and you combine that with the fact that he didn't look that great in the weigh-in. And I'm not making excuses for him because I thought he won the fight. 7-5, 8-4, even 8-4. I thought it was competitive, but a clear win for Ramirez. But is he struggling to lose the weight at that division? Because the fact, you didn't look so hot in the weigh-in. By the third round, you're already gassed. Man, that tells me a little more about your abilities to actually cut the weight and make the weight in that division. And maybe he should follow Josh Taylor's path if he does plan on move up to 147 because
he wants to do that, but he wants to capture a title there.
If he's struggling that bad, man, if he didn't look too hot, man. He
what,
looked like
what makes Ramirez a very strong and powerful boxer is the head movements. He has a lot of those. And I think those movements after a couple of rounds being consistent in that, it's getting them and just taking away from the stamina.
Manny, if Pedraza puts the pedal to the gas a little more and actually, because a lot of the times he wasn't the first to exchange, he wasn't the first one to let go. I think, and then when I look back at all his fights, he had a bad habit of that, like getting comfortable, not letting off first. También Pedraza kind of shot himself in the foot by not being the first to engage, and a lot of times the jab, Ramirez popped that jab. The
jab was the key for Pedraza, but every time he would throw that jab, it was just so slow. It's not that sniper kind of whip that we are accustomed to see. And then you could see the right hand from Ramirez kind of popping in, so he had respect of the power. And Ramirez trying to pin him in the corners a couple of times, and Luis Espada was, every round he said, stay away from the ropes, which he did good. Great foot movement for Pedraza. But you're right. It wasn't anything that I wanted to give him a couple combinations and then step back and reset again. You got to be a little bit more aggressive.
You got to be aggressive, especially on the road at home.
On the road, exactly. Yep.
You got to put a little more pressure on yourself to force the judges to give you some rounds. And I think Pedraza kind of let Ramirez off the hook, especially after he was putting in work in those middle rounds, to just turn around and give it right back. Pedraza, la tenías, papá, la tenías.
Yeah, papá. How did you see it, Gringo? What are your thoughts? I know you chatted a lot.
So that going into the fight, I'll just kind of sum up my experience in the fight pretty much in just like 3 phases. The first half, I was watching the fight like, man, this might not be the best matchup for Pedraza. This is like the first 3 rounds. I'm seeing that, clearly Ramirez is coming there head hunting. He's got the advantage. Then the adjustments were made. I'm like, oh man, this might be the perfect matchup for Pedraza. He's looking great, and there's been no adjustments. I remember, commented in there, which was the kiss of death. I said, man, this might be Pedraza's fight because it looks like Ramirez has no plan B. Lo and behold, damn it. The corner made the adjustments. Shout out to Garcia. Team Garcia, and they made the adjustments, the head movements, and they were working and fighting behind that jab, and they were able to get on the inside, and that changed things way more than I expected. And then honestly, the thing that needed to happen for Pedraza to me didn't happen, which you touched on, Manny. He didn't take any chances. Hopper, you mentioned that too. And we get the fight results we did. So to me, anything 8-4, 7-5, I could see that. And that, I think Ramirez did win. He didn't look great though. Now I think that's another thing too. That's why I kind of had this lack of fulfillment. I don't know what the word is, but basically I was expecting more. And when I didn't get as far as because Pedraza didn't take risk. And
Ramirez looked gas, and Ramirez then looked so.
Ramirez was there to be beat. So I'm thinking to myself, like, man, both guys really didn't go for it. So it was almost kind of like I would have not been mad at a draw. But I mean, Ramirez did do more, and he did enough to win. But it's because Pedraza didn't take it. It was there for him to win. So
it was there.
That's why I think it's the most disappointing. Neither guy just took the win. It just were awarded the win because the other guy didn't do enough. And for me, that's disappointing because so much was on the line. And that's kind of think where we're at, for me.
The two main events kind of, or is it fair to say the two main events kind of let our hopes down a little bit with the Ramirez and Pedraza and then Chocolatito and El Rey? You're thinking...
Chocolatito and Rey didn't. I mean, Chocolatito and Rey kind of lifted up and finished the weekend. I know, like super.
In terms of competitiveness, though, it was just a one-sided beatdown.
But still, because we wanted to be able to see you
wanted
to follow the legacy of Chocolatito.
You wanted to be.
I wanted, of course, yeah, heck yeah. I know. I didn't see a comment from you though. I didn't see a comment from you all night though.
Yeah, we're talking about it.
Yeah, so I think, but
where were you, Texas Live or something like that?
That was Friday night. I went to Texas Live Friday night for the Ramirez Pedraza fight.
I think from a competitive standpoint, both fell flat to me. But as far as seeing a performance that's, legendary, Chocolatito, absolutely. And it's just kind of a reminder of just, hey, I'm the man. And I've still got some say in this boxing game. And I'm definitely going to be here for as long as I want to be here. So that's my takeaway from the weekend. But
thankfully we have Mauricio Lara.
Yeah, because that guy doesn't give a fuck, and we're all about that. So, but to a serious note, and something that obviously is impacting everybody in the world, the invasion on Ukraine, and so many different fighters. And hey, just to put this out there, this is not going to be anything political or nothing like that. I'm just talking from the boxing perspective. Just me, the gringo, loving to watch fighters, watching fights, and to me, just on the surface level, the fact that you have, the Klitschko's, I know Vitaly, Vitaly Klitschko, he's the mayor of Kiev, which, they're under heavy attack. That's like the main capital there for Ukraine. And then Vladimir, he went 2 weeks ago and he became a reserve in the army. So they're obviously entrenched there. Recently, Usyk, he took a trip. He was in London and took a 9-hour drive to go through the city to get to the border. And now he's fighting in Kiev in one of the platoons. And right now that Lomachenko, he was in Greece and he managed to get all the way back. And now he's in Odessa, which is in the southern part, which they're having a lot of problems there. And he's in a platoon and they're fighting, they're putting it all on the line. And other, Ukrainian fighters are, doing what they can that are, boxing based fighters that are doing what they can to get back there, protect their home country. It's just a crazy thing because, are we going to see these fighters? First of all, respect to them for doing that. And, just ultimate credit, as being men and citizens of their country. So that's unbelievable. And, something that's obviously very commendable, but scary because they could lose their lives, man. Not just boxing. They could lose their lives in a very scary situation. We're on the fringe of something, potentially catastrophic. It's very scary. But just on the boxing level, we may not see these guys again. The heavyweight champion of the world right now is in Kiev, which is under assault right now. Yeah. So kind of what's your thoughts kind of going into it as far as I know Joshua recently said, I know he's kind of going back and forth a little bit on this in regards to, he still wants to rematch and he's willing to wait how long? You know what I mean? It's really a crazy situation. Yeah. Manny, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, you guys know I have lots of passion when it comes to Ukrainian boxing, from the Klitschko's into one of the guys that excites me ever since he did his pro debut. Lomachenko, and then what Usyk has done to be able to dominate the cruiserweights now, moving up in weight, and then did what he did to Anthony Joshua. This is amazing. When it comes inside it, a sport that has to be dedicated. It's a lot of battle that you go through to prepare yourself for this, and then all the hard work you've done, and now in the middle of a conflict in where, first of all, there is no way in hell Ukraine will win this war if they don't get the support from the allies, from NATO. There's no way. They haven't demonstrated anything yet, and what they're doing is actually poking more on Putin's ego, and then bringing in 40 miles convoy, a convoy as long as 40 miles. Can you imagine that? 40 miles all the way. These are tanks and troops from Russia coming in. Do you have something? No. But here's what you have. You have the braveness of a country in where they're united, and they are more into protecting their culture rather than thinking for themselves of what they've done. And I'm talking about I'm talking about these boxers that are going to risk in everything. And then, if you think about it, they're on top of the world. Would anyone else in any kind of sport, if they have a conflict like this, do you think they would leave what they worked so hard for in so many years to be in jeopardy of getting killed? Because these guys, Russia's on a mission, and the mission is to destroy whatever comes in front of them. And it's no secret to that. And I just have I have a lot of sadness with me because I want to see these guys back in the ring, but I hope that nothing wrong happens to any of them, because it's sad to see so much potential of what they build in a sport in Ukrainian, and then now just kind of, I mean, it's great. They want to defend their country and parting ways with what they're good at, which is, But I wanted to leave with just a quick thought that I did read from Usyk, and you can see how humble not only Usyk and all the Ukrainian people, but what it actually is their main focus in life right now. And he had sent in a statement through social media, and it goes like this, in quote: "I don't want to shoot. I don't want to kill anybody, but if they will be killing me, I will have no choice." So you can still see that, they don't want to be able to do something and kill another human being, but they're attacking me. I'm going to have to make a decision to do it. Maybe it'll sound sentimental, but my soul belongs to the Lord. I mean, these are very Christian people who yes, I was brought here in this earth for a purpose, but I still have passion for what I do, but I believe that this is just temporary. All right. And my body and my honor belongs to my country, to my family. So there's no fear, absolutely no fear. I'm already scared as fuck right now. You know what I mean? For them, they're just blasphemous. How could this be in the 21st century? Man, I don't know, bro. If anything happened, to any of these guys, is going to be a huge loss. But at the end of the day, they're still heroes. They did it inside the ring, and they're doing it outside the ring.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a crazy time. So I want to get to these comments, and we'll go on from there. But again, we just wanted to make sure to acknowledge, because I mean, it's a part of boxing, it's a part of the world clearly, and it's impacting us all in different ways. So Off the Ropes Boxing and MMA, shout out to you, brother. My buddy said there's a rumor going around that Lomachenko really out there on the front lines, really killing Sean. I thought the same thing. They may never see them again. If he's on Odessa, he's out there in them streets.
Yeah.
Okay. When we say the block is hot, Odessa's no joke. All right. So that's
and that's the concern. Yeah. That's what a lot of people, and I think we talked about, are they in the front lines or are they behind the scene providing some intelligence? But what kind of intelligence they have? They don't. Oh, they got some guns. No training whatsoever, and then, hey, let's save our country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's admirable what they're doing over there.
Oh, absolutely. HLD, shout out to you, brother. AJ said that he would take the interim fight while waiting for Usyk. Now, I know he said that too, so he may have to, man. I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, even if he does this conflict, which doesn't look like it's going to be ending anytime soon, when it ends, what kind of mindset will he be in? You know, after what he's seen, and he's going to want to be there to support his country, his family. It's just a lot to process.
Well, they're not training either. I mean, you don't have that momentum when you get inside and outside the gym. You're not hydrating your body well. You're not eating. I mean, honestly, all the money and the power you have, you're not going to have someone cooking for you or doing anything like that. It's just, it's going to be a lot of damage, not only physically, but you're right, Sean, mentally.
Yeah, you know, PTSD, that's a real thing. And they're going to have that. You know, and
they killing people.
Boxers have that typically, but think of this. I mean, they're seeing bodies burned, and it's just very, very traumatic and horrible stuff.
Yeah.
Chicano Prophet, man, shout out, brother. Dudes are warriors in every sense of the word. Absolutely, man. So yeah, no more hate on the Ukraine fighters. Definitely not. For me at least. All right, so JC, straight up and down,
Chicano.
For real. Time to end the war? Definitely, brother. Man, that's the comment of the day right there. So hopefully they will. Hopper, anything you want touch on this at all, just as far as like the impact of the war and just kind of like your thoughts? I mean, again, it's not political, just like
I think you guys pretty much touched on everything that I was gonna say. You know, the guys are admirable. There's really no more adjectives that we can say about Usyk, the Klitschko's, Lomachenko. Those guys are men, real men defending their country. What else can we say about them, man? The only thing about it is that it sucks, it's shitty, and it's having ramifications throughout the world. Everybody's icing out Russia. And which just leads me to the boxing. What's going to happen with the Canelo Bivol? I mean, is that fight really going to happen? Is the WB are they going to allow Bivol to defend his championship, or are they going to bend the rules a little bit for Canelo? I mean, I'm very curious to see if that fight's even going to happen. I mean, we'll
that's what the WBA, WBC, all the organizations have stated that they want to ban in Russia, as a matter of fact. But at the same time, they don't want anything that has to do with Russia participates, and now you got major fights in where.
And if you're Canelo and his team, though, you look at the optics of the situation. Should we fight? You know, how does it make him look? Does he become the hero that the world needs to fight the Russian? You know, that could be something that maybe they're trying to try, or I don't know, man. It's just a shitty situation that happened over there with Russia and the Ukraine. Hopefully they can get this shit resolved and not escalate any further, man, because it's impacting the world, and it's all everybody seems to talk about now, and it's just sad.
No, not only that, sport and boxing, the braveness of, and you know, I can't validate this 100%, but I believe that ex-Miss Ukrainian Universe, I think she's also very heavily involved as well. So I'm figuring that, you know, this is a culture kind of thing,
man. Everybody,
this is a culture kind of thing, because you and I, if we are a professional athletes that we have made a lot of sacrifices and a lot of money, and something happens, unless I am obligated to fight, we would have to do it. But these are volunteers; they're not obligated to do it, and they still want to stuck in it. To be honest, for me to think about doing that, it'll be a little bit difficult. Right, because you're leaving your family behind.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess I never know how it is until you get put in that situation. Right. But I'd like to believe that. I think I'd follow suit with what the Lomachenko and Usyk are doing. I mean, hey, if we gotta go. You know,
we gotta go.
No, yeah. I mean, we've all been in situations we don't think how we respond outside looking in, but once you're in it, you respond, and you're gonna do
fight or flight.
Yeah, you know, ride or die. So, just want to touch on that. You know, obviously it's not
you're the man, gringo,
greatest topic in the world to discuss, but it's the topic of the world right now. So we had to touch on it. But hey, let's kind of go ahead and close this thing out, man. It's been so great to talk about it. Final thoughts, Hopper, man. Let's go ahead. You got the floor, brother.
Yes, sir. My final thought. I want to shout out the UFC 272. There was a fight last night with the UFC. I know we don't like talking about it, but our ugly cousins, we got to, I want to bring it up. Colby Covington defeated Jorge Masvidal by unanimous decision. My boy Jorge Masvidal, that's 3 straight losses in a row. 5 of his last 8. I think at this point, he's just a name to get go in there and get beat up. So I think Jorge Masvidal, he probably wants to switch over and try some boxing out. I'll do something. But every time he fights, even going in, I was like, man, Colby Covington, he's a diehard Trump guy. Both of them are. He's gonna beat up Jorge. And sure enough, it was kind of a boring fight if you look at it. So I mean, shout out to the UFC. I know it's our distant, ugly cousin, but I keep up.
No, definitely, man. Ugly cousins need love too. Manny, what's your thoughts, brother?
I mean, my last thought is that March continues on with boxing. March 19, we have the comeback of the monster itself, the fucking monster, as he calls himself. That is Edgar Berlanga, another big, huge test at Hulu Theater in Madison Square Garden. Another big test out there. My man for Edgar Berlanga to continue to build on, what he's been doing so far in the sport of boxing is getting some better opposition, Steve Rolls. Let's see how he comes back from that. Our boy Sander Sayas, John Bausa, Henry, Moncho Lebron. This is gonna be another
March 19th, right, Manny?
March 19th.
That's Mijas Quinceañera.
I'll
have my hands tied up that day. Mijas Quinceañera. Keep it locked and loaded, everybody.
Dude, are you not gonna have it over there on a screen or anything like that?
My wife will kill me if I have
officially he's not officially.
No, she just walked in. She's like, "Well, you ain't gonna show no fight."
But there's a rumor.
You're gonna get me in trouble, Manny.
In the rumor, in the kitchen, there'll be a gringo with a phone that may be watching the fight. There's a rumor that might not.
I may or may not be in there for a few rounds. Where the boss is going, where's the dad? Oh shit, he's watching the fights.
So anyway, this is a very interesting fight. A lot of implications for these youngsters, and more excitement. Bringing in, of course, the talented. He's getting involved more in the sport, and he was actually carrying the flag right behind Pedraza. So that's good to see him involved in the community and in the sport of boxing when it comes to Puerto Rico boxing, because we need that a lot. Not only we need champions, but we need people to support and bring that talent and all that following into some of these great fights. It's going to be a great month, March and April, bro. Can't miss it.
That's funny right there. Instead of a surprise dance, just put it on a projector. All right, everybody, surprise fight.
I'm hoping if I get there, I'm going to be on my phone. And I'm going to scream, hey, stop the dance, Hopper. Hey,
he's not lying, ladies and gentlemen.
No, Xander whooped him.
This is an actual quote of his actual quote of what are we doing. But no, seriously, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Once again, man, great stuff. Again, I'll say it was a great weekend for boxing. I like the fact that it wasn't stacked. We had Friday and Saturday. I appreciate that. My last thing that I will say, though, I guess is slightly negative, but more it's a shout out to my East Coast boxing fans. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Top Rank does not have love.
For some reason.
What are they trying to do? I thought
it was late for us. Fight damn near started at midnight.
It started at like 1 o'clock before they touched gloves.
Ramirez Pedraza fight.
The East Coast they are trying to kill you guys right now.
2 a.m. over there when that fight was going.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. It is.
Keep in mind,
he had to work on it Saturday.
West Coast. So by default, it's going to be behind. We're going to be, you know what I mean? So there's just so many good fights. And remember, I told you, I was texting you guys, most of them, the undercard, they went on knockouts. So they went out pretty quickly.
Well, I got
the decisions. It would be like 2 o'clock in the morning.
And I got to say this too, man. And we got much love for young and up and coming fighters. But man, that Torres co-main
event fight
was one of the worst co-mains I've ever seen as a man. All right, so
as a man,
like that, I was
real man.
Maybe I was tired. Maybe I was tired, or maybe I didn't have enough food in my system, or maybe I was just so anxious for the main event.
No,
that
can't. That can't happen again. Even when I said it, even if it's like a generational talent guy that it's a must watch and it's his pro day view, someone like it's just very difficult to see that kind of talent in the first fight. You cannot put him in the co-main. You can't.
Yeah, this is, and I don't
want disrespect for the Olympian.
Yeah, no disrespect to the Olympian, but I don't even want to get into what I thought of his performance, but it shouldn't have been the co-main event.
I'm surprised it was the co-main event.
I was thinking it was like one of those, when they showed it, I was like, oh, he probably fought earlier, so they're going to show this fight again.
Later, brother.
It was the legit co-main event.
It was the co-main event. It was. Please get okay. Top Rank has with the Nico Walsh Ali thing. They kind of got this gimmick thing going on lately, man, and I think that fits in with that umbrella, man. I hate to say that because the guy's Olympian, respect to him, but you should not have been the co-main event. That was a tough watch. And again, much love to our East Coast brothers and brothers on Puerto Rico watching the fight. If you survived watching that fight and didn't have to watch the replay, you deserve an extra round of beers because, man, that was brutal for me.
Yeah, no.
That was rough.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
And then when I looked at them, when I looked at the fights, like, but all they're doing is just throwing crazy punches. There's no technique in there. I mean, I don't know. I thought I was gonna expect to watch something else. You asked, is this the next fight? The main man? I was like, yeah, well, sure. No, there's a heavyweight fight coming up.
No, that was sorry, man. I didn't mean to bring the show down, but man, that had to be addressed, brother. Like that was rough.
Disappointing.
Yeah, half man, half disappointment. Well, that was my disappointment right there. That co-main event, and I gotta have some respect for my East Coast brothers, man. That they're trying to kill y'all. I mean, that's shit. Okay, I know that Top Rank is in the Las Vegas right now, but damn, man, we are the world,
man.
All right, so but seriously, guys, if you love real boxing talk, man, if you want the real boxing talk, love us, hate us, debate us, the HCP is where it be. Every single week, new exciting content, great shows with real boxing, strong opinions. And whether you agree or not, you're going to be entertained and you're going to be so well educated and you're going to be happier for it. I know I'm happy being part of the network. So, man, definitely check it out.
Schedule next week, right? It's not that much of a schedule. You got Lee Wood versus Michael Conlan. That should be pretty interesting. Andrell Holmes versus Vernon Brown on Showtime. And that's pretty much it.
Yep. So, we'll
talk Lee Wood, Michael Conlan. Why not? Michael Conlan.
We might even have him on the show. We probably won't. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Peace out. Whoa. I almost restarted the show.
Hey, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
Emotional, damn.
Part over here.
Adios.
Man.
Hey, how you guys doing?
It's Maestro A. It's Kenny T. I'm back in New York City after a weekend in Las Vegas.
When we got Power Punchers episode 2, episode dos. Hit that like button as you come in.
Boy Dave from the 408 coming to you all the way from my podcast studio in San Jose, Califas. You know what time it is. It's time for the shoot.
Everyone, welcome to Al Chile. We got my partners in crime, Run PMC and Nopal with us and visiting us for the first time. Al Chile means keeping it
style boxing. Thanks to those joining me live. Those that be joining me here on Archive. I've been joined by the new co-host of ATP, Nancy, from the Boxing Republic.
It's my birthday, and then obviously, Red says to me, these are my girls, you have to make sure you do the interview for them. I said, you know what, even though it's my birthday, we'll do it, no problem.
Oh, you're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All-Star panel, the round table, number 58. Really good weekend.
Seguimos en vivo. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, como siempre, Mari Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Hopper.
Hey!
Always breaking it down like it is, like it should.
Welcome to the Ringside Reporters Show, where we talk about the latest boxing news. If it's related to boxing, we're going to talk about it right here. My name is Eric Lorta, and I'm here with my co-host, Joe Habib.